Hey guys, how's everyone today?
Good. Honey.
Is that light too much in the background?
No?
No? Okay. Everyone looks like we're already recording. Who all is on with me?
Michelle Metling.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
How are you?
Doing good.
Good. I'm on my phone and it's not as easy to see who all's on. What am I doing wrong here? Oh, hey, there we go. Anybody got any good news they want to share? No? What time is it? Hi, Sandy. We'll give it a few more minutes here. I think it's just 12 on the dot, so we'll give it just a minute. Hi, Amy. Oh gosh, we got more people in than I thought. Hi, Terry. Hi, Laura. Hi, Linda. Everyone have a good weekend? Yeah? Do anything exciting? Nothing? No? Yeah, well, me neither, I guess.
My son went to prom for the first time.
Oh, wow. Yeah. How was that? As from the mom view, how was that?
It was good. He went with our foreign exchange student, so that was nice. He could take her.
That is nice. Anybody else do anything fun over the weekend? I took my van in to have $1,000 worth of work done. Nothing like that to light a fire under your hiney to get to work, right? All right, well, it's a couple minutes after, so I'm going to go ahead and get started since this is just a short lunch and learn. Everybody got their lunch? What's everyone having? Anybody having a shake for lunch? Hold your shake up. I can only see part of you guys. I don't like being on my phone like this.
I had a salad with cranberry vinaigrette.
That is the best. Hey, Amy.
Hey, I'm putting my phone down. I don't know what you see. I don't know what you see. Probably my car.
I don't know. I can't. I'm on my phone, so I can't see.
Okay.
I can only see a few people. Okay. So we are recording. So if you have background noise, if you'd go ahead and mute yourself, and then you can come off mute at the end questions. But so we're going to talk today about like simplifying the inviting process. And I'm like so excited about this, guys. So first, a disclaimer. I'm going to ask you guys 2 questions. And if you guys can answer these questions, then this might not be a call for you. You might want to just keep on doing what you've been doing. So the first question is, am I getting 10 guests at all my tastings and workshops? So if you can answer that question with a yes, then just keep on doing what you've been doing, okay? And the second question is, do I have an invite? So if you answered that yes, I'm getting 10 people at all my tastings and workshops. And then you can also answer this question, do I have an invite that doesn't take more than 5 or 10 minutes for me to explain it to the host and get it to her, okay? If you can also answer that question with a yes, then you can just keep on doing what you've been doing. But if you answered either of those with a no, then you guys are going to be super excited about this, okay? So a little bit of background. As a leader, and if for other leaders on this call, if you're not already thinking this way, I'll just kind of plug that now. You might want to start thinking that way. So as a leader and as a director, I always try to think about what I'm doing. Like, is this duplicatable for my team? And is it easy for them? You know, is it quick and easy and duplicatable? Okay. So this idea came about back when, how many of you guys were using Mad Mimi or Red Stamp? Okay, so about the time that we got notified that Red Stamp was closing their doors and we'd no longer be able to use them, and then we had also been using Mad Mimi. So we, as leaders, we had created a Mad Mimi invite, and then we could clone that invite into our reps accounts, right? You guys, how many of you guys were doing that? Okay, so about the same time, a couple of things happened. We could no longer use Red Stamp, and Mad Mimi said, we're not cloning invites into all of these free accounts for you guys anymore, okay? So I'm like, okay, what are we gonna do for invitations? Like, whatever we do, it's got to be easy for reps to use. It's got to not take very much time. What are we going to do? And I had an idea, and it was kind of born out of frustration. I'll be honest. I was just like, I'm just going to have this hostess personally reach out, right? So we know that when she personally reaches out anyway, that she has a better chance of having a good attendance, right? Would you guys all agree? So I was like, okay, I'm not creating an invite. Like, I'm not getting on the internet and trying to find some other invite service. Like, I'm just going to have her personally invite her people. Like, she's going to literally have to text them or pick up the phone and call them. Okay. And unbeknownst to me, at the same time that I had this idea and I was testing it, Sonara Brown was also testing it. Like, we hadn't talked. I hadn't told her that I was doing this. She hadn't told any of the other directors she was doing this. And then we found out later, after we had tested it for a while, that we had both been testing it. So that was kind of exciting. So some of my other thought process was my attendance was down at both my workshops and my tastings. So how many of you guys can relate to that? Like, I was only having like 4, 5, 6 people there. So I thought, if I have this hostess personally reach out and she gets 4, 5, 6 people there, I'm no worse off than I was before, right? And if she has more than that, then we've won. Okay, we've figured out something that's going to work. And this particular hostess, this was the first time I tried it. She was a pretty motivated hostess, so I kind of had that going for me. But I kind of thought, okay, what if I have a hostess that's not very motivated? I mean, you guys all have those, right? Like we sometimes we have a hostess and they're all in, they're really excited about it. They're doing everything we're telling them to, and they're really motivated to keep people there, right? And then sometimes we have those hostesses that we're like dragging them along with us, and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know if she's going to get anybody there, right? Guys, does that happen to y'all too? Just me? Okay. So I thought, okay, with my hostesses that aren't very motivated, and I don't give them an invite, they're going to have to get motivated, or they're going to have 0 people there, right? They're going to have to personally reach out to get anyone there. So I thought, okay, well, this is all sounding good in my head. Let's see what happens. So what I said to my hostess to kind of get her on board, I just said, so what we're finding works best for inviting is when you personally reach out. So how are you good with that? Are you good with just picking up the phone and calling your guests or sending them a text and kind of telling them a little bit about what you're doing and seeing if they want to come? Are you good with that? Are you good with not having an email to send? Are you good with not, doing Facebook? Are you good with that? And she's like, yep, that's good with me. I'll just text them or call them. Okay. So I didn't lie to her, right? We do know that, and what we have found that works best for inviting is when they personally reach out. Okay. I just had to get her buy-in, because you know what happens sometimes is we'll have a hostess that just goes and creates that Facebook invitation on their own. You guys have ever had that happen? Or I don't know, maybe all of you guys are all of you guys creating Facebook invites for everyone now?
That's what I do.
Is that what pretty much everyone's doing?
Jenny, this is Joanna Bushnell. I do Facebook events for my workshop.
Okay.
And then, but
most everyone's doing.
Yeah.
How many people are you getting at your parties?
I get anywhere, usually I would say 5 to 8 workshops purchased, and then maybe a couple more people there. And it depends. It really depends on the hostess and how much, if she's really following my instructions and suggestions to personally invite, and she's really engaged. But yeah, I mean, I'm not rocking 10 workshop kits sold every party. No.
And how time consuming do you think that is for you? That was the second question, right? Like, how time consuming is it?
Well, so it takes me some time because, and this was one of the questions I was going to ask you at the very end, was, workshops and Wild Tree are very new in this area. So I use my Facebook event not only for the invitation, but then also to provide information to help them learn a little bit more about Wild Tree, learn a little about the workshops, the options, the process. I do a video, so yeah, I mean, so there is definitely work involved in the posting. I use FinchShare to schedule stuff, but even so, I mean, I've got 4 events that I'm
pretty time consuming, right?
Yeah, it takes time.
Really more than like 5-10 minutes, right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So let me just continue, and then we can open it back up for discussion. So after I kind of got my hostess's buy-in that she would just personally reach out, then I went in my normal hostess coaching. This is nothing new. The same thing you guys have heard before on hostess coaching. So how many would you like to have there? And then we talk through that. If she has a good number, and this particular hostess did, she wanted to have 10 there. So I didn't have to do any pushback on that, or, any coaching around that. Then I could just go into okay, so what we found is you need to invite, 3 times that many, because we know only a third are going to come, right? All that same stuff. Nothing new there. But what we found was that when she personally reached out, she didn't have to personally reach out to 3 times as many. So to get her 10 there, she didn't have to reach out to 30. And I'll have to ask her, I should have asked her before this call. I think she only reached out to like maybe 18 to 20, if I'm remembering correctly. So that's a little bit easier on our hostesses too. So her results, she had 10 people there. There was it was a fantastic party, like a great party. 1 rep lead, 2 bookings, and a few more maybes. And I did not give her anything. I didn't give her any prefab texts. She just had to personally reach out and tell them what she was doing. Now, she had been to a tasting party, so I think that was in her favor. Now, if she hadn't been to a tasting party before, I might have given her like a little prefab text that she could send. And if I didn't say this was just a tasting. Okay. So 2 things that this did. It made it easier on my hostess. She didn't have to reach out to as many people. And then it also set the stage for the hostesses that booked off of her. So when I booked so the 2 bookings that I got from that party, one was a freezer mill workshop and one was a tasting. And so when I was doing the initial hostess coaching with the tasting hostess, that just right there at the party, like right when we booked, I said to her, well, she asked me, so after I gave her the hostess packet, and she says, so are we going to be in touch, before my party? And I'm like, oh yeah, we'll be in touch a good handful of times before your party. I said, but your job right now is to just get people to your party. So just like Kim did, we've found that the way to best invite and to get the best turnout is to just personally reach out. So text people or just tell people what you're doing. I said, are you good with that? I said, we just find that an email and Facebook and even something that you would send through the mail, it just is more time consuming and really just doesn't have the best effect. So I said, are you good doing that, personally reaching out like Kim did? And she's like, oh yeah, that's totally fine. I can, of course, reach out and do what Kim did. So it set the stage for the next hostesses in line. You guys follow me? Okay. So I just coached I've done this mostly with tastings. I just coached a freezer mill workshop hostess using this process, and it went, I don't have any results yet, but it went really well. Just coaching her and getting the buy-in, and her thinking that was going to be super easy to be able to invite just via text as well. So I told you guys that Sonara had been testing this as well. And Sonara was actually testing it with freezer mill workshop hostesses. And so there is a prefab doc that I will post in the event. And it's just a series of texts. So what you guys are going to do is send the first 4 texts to your hostesses at once. And the first one is just simple. It's like, hey girl, I'm getting ahead of the crazies and I'm having friends over to make dinners, 10 dinners for our freezer on April 15th. Are you free that day? Something super simple like that. That's it. And then there's a few follow-up texts. I wanted to mention that first one because I think that there's some psychology behind in selling. And we're learning a lot of this with the shakes, but I think a lot of times when people get that invite from our hostess or from us, and it's got all this information on it, because we want to tell them all about it because it's amazing, right? So it's got all this information on it, but then they're like, I'm totally being sold, right? So if we can just kind of trickle the information to them and give them only the information that that particular person needs, we set up more of a buying atmosphere, and we set them up to open themselves up to more information. All right, so the first text, if you're doing a freezer mill workshop, is a simple, I'm having friends over to make 10 meals. Are you free? And then if they're like, yeah, tell me more, you can send them, or your hostess can send them the video. The video that we've all been including anyway, right? And then, you know, the rest of the text, just walk you through it. But you're going to send the first 4 to your hostess at once after you've explained those. And then there's a set of 3 more that you send them as it gets closer to the RSVP date. And then there's a text that you can send her for getting more people after the order's already in, to just get those tasting people to the freezer mill workshop. And so guys, that's pretty much it. So no Facebook event that you have that's time consuming on your part. No email invite that you have to whip up and you know, make sure it's all right, has all the right info. All you have to do for a freezer mill workshop invite is just get that link that your hostess is going to include. So what do you guys think? Take yourselves off mute.
I love it.
Who was that?
That was me, Amy.
Oh, Amy.
I'm all about spending less time on stuff, so that's awesome.
And Amy, Jonah, Amy's been using SenseShare and Facebook events too. So I'm glad to hear that, Amy.
I really like it too. The one question I have is, how do you let them pick out the meal, or how do you, how does that go, the menu?
So are you just offering like 2 workshops currently? Or how many are you offering?
Yeah, usually I offer 2 to 3.
Okay, so to be able to send just the link and to simplify it that way, you're gonna have to offer all of them.
Okay, so what link do you send? Just the link to the Facebook party?
So when you set up the Facebook party in your back office, you know how it has that event link? So you copy that event link, and then once you go there, you pull up just the workshops.
Okay.
And then you grab that link.
Okay.
So it is kind of a 2-part process, but that will give you the link that has just the workshops that's also connected to that hostess's party. So that's the link that you'll put in the text to your hostess that she sends. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense.
Okay. Other questions, comments, guys?
Jenny, this is Joanna,
Yeah.
the Facebook girl. Okay, so my call dropped like right when you were entering into the psychology of selling, but I'll have to listen to the replay. So I apologize if this got talked about.
That's okay.
So I do workshops for the most part. So we would text, and I know how to figure out the link and do all that with Bitly and stuff like that.
Okay.
So then in terms of questions, so instead of like providing me pushing forward information. Basically, I just tell the hostess, hey, as your guests have questions, message me, give me their numbers, I'll contact them directly or open up a 3-way text or something like that. I mean, just kind of initiate it that way in terms of they initiate versus me pushing. That sound right? Pushing information out.
Right.
That makes sense?
This is more of a pull than a push. Yeah, you're correct. Do you find that you get a lot of questions now?
In some cases, you kind of get the deer in the headlights. Obviously
Yeah.
I can't see them in person, but that's kind of, I know what's happening. And in most cases, I just either initiate a Facebook messenger conversation with them, or call them up, or have the hostess, or in some cases they just come because they need to be there to see it.
Right.
So I mean, I think in terms of the biggest obstacles that I run into with Facebook, or currently with any sort of method that I do, I think it all comes down to the personal messaging, and this covers it.
Right. Yep. Because if she wants to have any sort of turnout, she's going to have to personally invite them.
Yeah.
So
do you also go? Sorry.
In the series of texts that, like, the first 4 that you're going to send your hostess, and of course there needs to be a conversation to your hostess about, explaining each of them and not sending all 4 of them at once, but the importance of just sending that first text to everybody. The second one, like, if they need more info, if they say, yeah, I'm in, what is this all about? Tell me more, is just the video. And I find that video that's done by home office, that answers a lot of questions. It kind of shows them exactly what's going to happen. And then it's, if they don't have any more questions, then it's just order your kit. Now it's the people that are going to, like, have food allergies or that sort of thing that are probably going to have the most questions. I thought of something else I was going to tell you guys. So I'm going to post 2 things in our event. Well, 3 things actually. This recording will be posted. I'm going to post the text messages. We already have it. We have a doc done for that. And then I'm going to post the video that Sonara did on this as well, because she talks about a few different things that I think that were her thoughts that weren't really mine. So I just thought I'd post that and let you guys, it can kind of be a follow-up, and she might repeat some of the same things, but I think that'll be good for you guys too. So any other questions or hurdles?
Yeah, Jenny, this is Joanne. I'm going to jump in again. Okay, so one of the things that I had been doing was with Red Stamp, but before they, then I pulled down an image. And so a lot of times what I do is the process. I take the workshop process, 1 shop, 2 choose, 3, whatever, that one. Yeah. And then I put the hostess information at the bottom, right? I just, do something, save the date, 12 dinner time, whatever, and had the date. And so a lot of times that's what I would send to the hostess a few weeks in advance, even before I've done the Facebook event, and say, hey, this is perfect right now. Shoot this out to your friends. Have you done any testing with or without something like that? Or have you just found that a simple text is better than any sort of save the date image?
I haven't. Well, I used to send a save the date, yes, when Red Stamp was still around. But since I've been going to this method, I haven't been sending a save a date. So I don't know, I can't speak to whether that helps or hinders the process.
Well, and if it's one less step, and then if it's one of the future texts includes the video, then because I've put that that's kind of one of the things I put in my event is, hey, if you're new to this, check this out. Let me know what questions you have. See if this helps. So, okay. Yeah. I have a perfect party for me to test this out on. I'm excited. I'm going to do it.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to hear your results. everybody's results, yeah, I'm just really excited about this. It's taking a lot of all of our plates, and I mean, I'm busy, you guys are busy. Anything that we can do to simplify and that doesn't take us as long, gosh, that's a win, right? And then, oh, I know what I was gonna mention. I think it brings back the personal touch to the hostess inviting. So, on Facebook, even if we tell our hostess only invite, 30, 40 people, because we don't want the invitee to look and see that you've got, 80 people invited, and like they think, oh, I don't need to go. She's got so many people invited. So if we can make that person feel special, and think about it. If you guys get a phone call of somebody inviting you to something, or a text of somebody inviting you to something, doesn't that feel a little bit better than getting that Facebook invite? Like, I don't even pay attention to my Facebook invites half the time. Like, I'll scroll through one and I'll be like, oh, I didn't even know about that, and it's like tomorrow. Is that just me, or does everyone else check all those invites? So it just brings the personal touch back to it, that I think the hostess's guests are going to feel a little bit more special, and like she selected them personally if she's reaching out this way. And that might have a better effect on the turnout rates. So.
Hey, Jenny.
Yeah.
It's Kate. Just a quick question about ordering. So in the past, I've always done like my invites using like the Google Doc, where they all order their workshops that way, and then I go in and enter it into the back office and invoice them. So when you send them the link, is there an option for them to order online and ship with the party? Or are they?
The default will be, if you set it up as a new Fraser Mill workshop with the default being ship with party, that's the default that will be in the back office. They would have to actually check. I can't remember what the option is. Like,
can't attend party.
Not attending, I think.
Yeah, they're gonna have to click a box.
Yeah. So the default is going to be ship with party.
Okay. I just want to make sure that all the workshops still go to my hostess.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else? Comments, questions, thoughts? Okay. What about any other questions about anything besides invite process? Anything anybody has on their mind that, while you've got a captive audience, you want to ask? All right. Well, I'm super excited to share this with you guys. I'm having some great success with it. Sonara's having some great success. I know that you guys will too, and I can't wait to see your numbers climb and to hear all about it. So let's keep posting in the event even after it's over, and you guys can just kind of share how it's going. And if you have questions about the process, you can certainly ask there, or reach out. I think I'm friends with all of you guys on Facebook, and if I'm not, feel free to friend me and message me on Facebook. All right. Okay, guys, happy Monday. Let's have a rockin' week. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Jenny.